For the next half hour, we are focusing on DT Associates, a company celebrating a diamond jubilee, 60 years of uninterrupted service to the people of the Gambia. Now, given the Gambia will only turn 60 next year, it means the company, whether under the same name or other, has worked with all three Gambian presidents so far to help them build better futures for our people. Well, to help us learn more about DT Associates and also hear about its plans to mark its 60th anniversary, the company has paid for the 30 minutes coffee time is now devoting to its business. And I'm joined by two very beautiful ladies, thank God no man with them. We've just come out of Pink October, and they'll introduce themselves. I like to go from left to right.
All right, thank you very much, Peter, and good morning, listeners. My name is Ramatulai Jallo, Head of Audit DT Associates.
Ramatulai, welcome to West Coast Radio.
Thank you.
Good morning, Uncle Peter and your listeners. My name is Ajipenda Sankare. I'm currently the managing partner of DT Associates.
And we have my colleague Haruna Drame sitting quietly in the studio, making sure that, I ask the right questions. And Aji, thank you very much for reminding me of my age, reminding me that you've been listening to me since I was doing school quiz competitions. Debates. And then I asked, where were you then at the time? You said, I was in primary school. Welcome. Congratulations on 60 years. Thank you. Tell me more about DT Associates.
Thank you, Uncle Peter. DT Associates is an auditing accounting firm that provides, in addition to auditing accounting services, other financial advisory services, which is a range of services, cuts across risk assessment, risk advisory, IT, all the professional services required in terms of consultancy as well.
Okay. And, people would say, well, we need the broadcasters because they tell us what is happening in our country and in the world every day. But why do we need auditors?
Thank you, Uncle Peter. We need auditors to assist in providing independent audit opinions to our clients, that is corporations. And we also do offer improvements on the international control systems over their financial reporting based on the financial information provided to us. Mm-hmm. And it does assist in gaining investor confidence, the lenders and the regulators as well. Yeah.
And use of the word opinion, has tended to cause, some stir, especially, discussing the reports of the National Audit Office. Why does the opinion of an auditor matter, Aji?
It matters. It's guided by principles, guided by international standards. We are a body of accountants, and we're guided by international accounting principles and standards, and also ethical guidelines and integrity. So it's not just an opinion. We don't just give an opinion like that. We go through a whole process, which is internationally recognized.
What would that, what's wrong with calling them, rather than opinion, calling them findings? Because when an inquiry panel does its investigations, all right, and comes up with findings, they are basically expressing their opinions as well. But because they are called findings and not opinions, they cause absolutely no stir. What's wrong with calling them findings?
Well, this is we're not calling it findings. Instead, we're calling it an audit opinion. And just like my managing partner just mentioned, it's because these are done in line with international standards of auditing. And for that purpose, one of the outputs of an audit is to issue an audit opinion and not findings. Okay. Probably there are other services that would require findings, and that would delve more into the assurance side of the services that we do provide.
All right. How difficult is an auditor's job? I mean, because if you ask me, all they do is come into an office, ask for the receipt books and whatever, go through them and then form an opinion. How difficult is an auditor's job?
Well, it's difficult, challenging, and interesting as well, because you get to work with different companies, and the level of how ready they are differs. You have organized companies. Sometimes you have companies where you need to go on and help them set up, help them in their journey, and help them through to their growth as well.
And do people always listen? I mean, I know what you're saying. When we were audited for the first time, we were helped. Helped again, helped again. Do you find it difficult to help, especially new companies?
Yes, it's difficult, but like I said, it's also interesting because you get to also hear their views on why they're resisting on the help that you want to offer. But the interesting part is that eventually we both come to a common understanding because they understand that you're doing this in order to add value to their businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. And still on challenges, quite apart from maybe coming up against a resistant CEO who doesn't want to be told what to do. They own their company and they run it the way they want, even though they still want to be audited according to the set standards of auditing. What are the challenges does DT Associates face?
I would say capacity. We have a capacity issue. I would say most of the time people...
On whose part? DT Associates?
Not on our clients, but we are always there to assist because we also, in addition to helping them understand accounting principles and how to keep their booking their records, we also help to train them as well. So we always carry them along. Capacity is a challenge, but it's something that we really assist on.
Okay. And are you members of any of these accounting or auditing bodies in the Gambia?
That's the good news. We are a member of the GICA, the Gambia Institute of Chartered Accountants. I used to be a council member, and our former managing partners as well were involved in the past. We also assisted in setting up the Gambia Association of Accountants. That's before GICA, and we've been providing financial support and training to them in the past as well.
And why is it important to have such bodies locally? Internationally, we know why, because those are the standards by which you do your job. But locally, to have GICA, for instance.
Yes, we need GICA, and they're very instrumental in the accounting space, as in they regulate all of us, the auditors, the accountants, in how we do businesses. So it's very important so that we go by the guidelines of the institutions.
All right, let's talk about 60 years of DT. I suppose 60 years of adding value to your profession in this country. How did it all begin? I know you weren't there 60 years ago when it all started, but at least you would have read up on the story of DT Associates. Has it always been called DT Associates?
No, that's good to know. It has transformed over the years. It started way back in February 1964. From our research, we learned that it used to be Panel Fitzpatrick Graham and Crutzen Chartered Accountants, mainly providing statutory and auditing accounting services. It was started by the British people then. The first resident partner was Gordon True, who came with his secretary, Magdalene Gallagher, in 1964. And from there, it started transforming. We understand also the first Gambians that were recruited were Mr. Momodu Kaur of blessed memory, and Mr. Lamin Juara, who is currently also running his own accounting firm in Canada.
Good for him.
Yes. And a lot of people have has passed through DT Associates. It transformed from Panel Fitzpatrick, then to Panel Care Foster, became PKF, then in 1998 it became Deloitte & Touche. And then in 2011, we became DT Associates to date.
And, why all this change of names and, acquiring new identities all the time?
I would say it's more for growth and transformation, growing in line with the market and industry as well. And also transforming to do what industry expects us, to grow with the industry, I would say, yes.
And, some of the highlights of the past 60 years? Can you just highlight some?
Well, it's been a significant improvement from just doing audit and accounting. We've extended our services to taxation in the 90s and advisory consultancy services. And also, we have invested heavily in technology. moving with the times. I can say that we were the first audit firm in the 90s that had an audit software. And as we speak, we've invested in the advancement of technology. We took advantage of the advancement of technology to the extent that now we're providing services worldwide. Our clients are all over the country, all over the world rather, from Senegal, Mauritius, China, even in Australia. So what we're saying is Gambian farm now is providing services all over. We're exporting our services. And we are pleased to say that it started as a British farm and now it's under the leadership of the Gambians since in the 1990s, under the visionary leadership of Mr. Alpha Barry, who took it to the highest heights. And we are pleased to say that we've been able to uphold that service of excellence and international standards of quality expected for a professional service firm in the Gambia.
And how are you able to maintain and uphold that, high standard of professionalism by having young, competent, professional ladies like yourselves, no more a male-dominated sphere?
Thank you, Uncle Peter. It's actually a balanced team at the.
It doesn't look balanced. They send me two people, and both happen to be female.
Yeah, I agree. You're seeing females here, but like she mentioned earlier, we have service lines, and we have three key service lines, and that's the audit, which I'm heading as a female. We have Janko Bas heading the tax unit of our firm, and we have Mustafa Cham heading the advisory unit of our firm. But like you said, and having Gambians leading the firm, we're also happy to say that she's also the first female Gambian managing partner.
Oh, wow.
A managing partner equates a CEO.
Oh, wow.
And, well, it takes a lot to be a managing partner as well, because you must be a chartered accountant, and you must go through certain trainings and be member of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants and also JICA. So we're proud, and she's not only the managing partner of our firm, but out of all the 8 registered audit firms in the Gambia, she is the only managing partner in the industry as well.
Congratulations, a million times, Aji.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have more questions for you as this conversation progresses. How do you plan to celebrate? It's a Diamond Jubilee.
It is, and we are very excited. We're celebrating Gambia, celebrating Gambians including our valued clientele, and Gambians including our employees that's present and past, who have passed through the DT Associates. Our alumni is all over, so we are celebrating together with them. We're going to have a dinner at the Sadauda Kairaba International Conference Center.
I love dinners.
You're invited, huh? So, and we are pleased to say that the President of the Republic is going to be our chief guest of honor. He's happy to be with us. In addition to the dinner, we've also engaged with the Ministry of Basic Education, with our able PS, who's been very active to support us, that PS Moses Louis Gomez, who is assisting Mendy, sorry.
I wish he was a Gomez. I tell him that all the time.
Well, he's a gentleman. He's been very supportive. We're trying to get a student to sponsor. We're giving back. Somebody who's interested in accounting through to university. We're looking for...
You know what will happen? They will start sending me text messages. saying how can I get in touch with these? Yeah.
Okay, let them get in touch with the PS too. Okay, the criteria is that they should be either a female, a differently abled, or underprivileged. We want to give back to them. Also, in addition, in our quest to also support health, we're having a blood donation on the 21st of this month, that's next week, Thursday, at our office. We're doing together with the Serekunda Hospital. We are going to donate blood, so we invite the whole of Gambia to come and donate blood to save lives. We're also going to do a walk for health, to create awareness for health, to walk from our office to a destination. We are working with Walk for Health Gambia chapter that is being led by Uncle Sheriff Gomez. They work every Saturday. Some of us are members, and it has changed our lives significantly, most of us. That's it.
Fantastic.
So far.
I can understand, you know, throwing a dinner to celebrate the event, but donating blood, walk for health, as you say, you know, it has become routine for quite a number of people. And I'm very pleased to hear you say that, you know, differently abled students of the university can also apply. How important is inclusivity at DT Associates? Because it's one thing to say, yeah, men and women, you know, should have equal opportunities, but the differences don't just stop there.
Well, I think I'll just start by there. You've just seen the equal opportunities that we've presented with our managing partner leading and being a female. We give opportunity to even the less privileged. We don't discriminate at DT Associates, and our employees would definitely attest to that. And in terms of inclusivity too, we don't even stop only at hiring employees that are Gambians. In our midst, we currently have a Ghanaian manager and a senior that's also a Sierra Leonean, and another staff that are Sierra Leonean. So we just don't also hire Gambians. So I think with that, we're an inclusive firm.
What informed your decision to choose, you know, blood donation as part of, you know, your anniversary activities?
Okay, I would say it's something that was discussed as part of the organizing committee. I believe one of our colleagues had an issue with blood donation. So when it was brought up, we all said, well, that's a good idea. And interestingly, a week after we discussed it, I needed it for my auntie.
Oh, really?
And I had to go around to get people to donate. So we just thought that it's something that is not being communicated out there, and we can take a lead in it to invite all our neighbors, the whole of Gambia. I'm hoping after this program, Uncle Peter, people will be engaging you to say, how can they come and donate blood? You wouldn't know how important it is until you need it. It was a frustrating day for me to get the blood for a surgery for my auntie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those things we don't, you know, think, you know, are important until you find yourself, you know, in that situation. So Barrow is coming to this dinner. The relationship between DT Associates and government. I mean, do you have a cordial working relationship? Not just with Louis Moses Mendy of MOPSE.
It's the whole of government, Uncle Peter. In addition to having a good relationship with government, we provide services to government. We also audit them. Even the Apex Bank, that's the Central Bank of the Gambia, is our client. We provide audit and other advisory services to them. We work with the National Audit Office. They outsource audits to us. That included the audit of Central Bank. We audit the
GRTS should consider outsourcing programs to me as well.
And we are the auditors of GRTS currently as well. So we audit most of the state-owned enterprises or have provided other services. We also implement accounting systems for most of them and payroll systems, which are tailor-made locally by our firm. In addition, also, we have a cordial relationship with the FPAC and FPEC because we present the audits of their client, the state-owned enterprises, together with even government projects, the donor-funded ones, all the agriculture, health, World Bank, ISDB, the Ministry of Education. So we have a relationship. We provide services to them.
Sounds like a large volume of work. How do you cope? I mean, how many employees must you have at, you know, DT Associates? Because you're not only here, you're also international. You're everywhere around the world.
Well, I would say at any point in time, we ensure that we don't have nothing less than 40 staff. And it started from 5 in 1964. And it's wide and varied. We are not just accountants, but we have even IT in our midst. All other all other parts are there.
Okay.
She wants to say something.
Yeah, and just to add to what the managing partner was saying, we also have a good working relationship with Gambia Revenue Authority, our tax unit headed by tax.
Everybody tries to have a good working relationship with GRA.
No, because we assist in the collection and in helping clients comply, because we do review and also give clients advices in line with the tax laws.
And if I may add,
Yes.
if you want to have a tax health check, we can do that for you.
What's a tax health check?
We'll come and review the taxes that you are supposed to pay and you are paying and let you know what you have been doing right and what you need to do better.
You know what will happen?
Yes.
As soon as you, or even before you leave the studio,
Yes.
our auditors will stand here to say, whatever they promise they will do for you,
I mean-
we're here to do it.
But you can separate them, and I think it's important to mention our tax leader, Janko Bass. I'm sure he's listening. He's a keen follower and has introduced us even to the
Online.
West Coast online. Saves us time to sit in the car park to listen to your program.
Janko is a wise man.
Janko
he's a boss.
he is. So he can come over and help.
Janko Maleno Bofabi. Yeah, go ahead. I thought you were, you were telling us, the different advisory services that you have.
Yes.
Because you might not know what startup is out there, and they've been advised to look for an auditor, accountant, and they could find that in DT Associates.
Yes, for startups especially, we can do feasibility studies, business plans. If they need guidance on setting up,
they always do. They always do.
The operations manuals, procedures in terms of internal controls as well, we help. Where mergers as well, we help. Valuation of companies, we do. In terms of human capital, we can do what they call the management, manpower development, which has trainings. Recruitments, we do as well. Payroll evaluation. The IT, they can even outsource to us. We can help in IT strategy development, IT audits and reviews, disaster recovery plans, implementation and support of accounting softwares and other software applications. It's very varied. And in terms of risk management as well, which is also very wide, we assist in internal audit. It can be co-outsourced to us or outsourced quality assurance reviews. We also do contract risk and compliance, enterprise risk management, as board evaluations and trainings. We do all that.
Fantastic.
Our services are very extensive.
All right.
Peter.
And who do you target? Only the big firms? Because people hear GRA, people hear National Audit Office, people hear all these, huge government departments. Do you also edit MSMEs, like West Coast Radio?
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay.
Our clientele is very wide. NGOs, the real estate, the GSMs.
Those are big hitters, real estate. Those are big hitters.
But even the smaller ones as well. Yeah. Hotels.
And basically, GRA and NAO are just partners. We don't audit them. They are our partners in providing our services.
Who audits NAO?
We don't know, but we have audited GRA in the
Before,
past as well, yeah.
Are they audited NAO?
Yes, they are audited.
They are audited.
They are
Okay.
audited, yes.
All right. And in doing your job, what's the one thing that you feel, Gambian businesses, particularly, small and medium businesses, don't get about, business discipline, whether it's called financial discipline or whatever?
Yes, that's a challenge. Recording and keeping evidence of records.
That's simple.
It's not. It's not that simple.
Isn't it?
Because, for example, like you say, in the smaller businesses, somebody would just feel that they own their business. They will run it the way they want it. If you ask them what a payment was relating to, they wouldn't even know because they don't have evidence. As far as they know, they're the ones that sign the checks. So that financial organization, it's a bit lacking. But it's really improving with the...
And is this only a problem with sole proprietorships? Because you mentioned the fact that somebody feels that they own the business, they can do with the finances however and whatever they like.
Well, mainly the sole proprietors, but it cuts across too.
So when you listen to the local government commission that is going on right now, and you hear, missing receipts, and I'm not going to drag you in there. You understand the language that is being spoken.
We do,
because lay people like me would just think that so they may office kind of then you record luneka, but then you wonder, why would receipts go missing? So you understand,
We do.
how that can happen.
Yes, and it's a concern.
Okay.
I think that is one of the challenges you were mentioning in terms of obtaining evidences. That is the biggest challenge in the audit services.
And when you come up against a stubborn, obstinate, resistant CEO like A. Peter Gomez, who insists my way is always the best, how do you manage them? Because it becomes a question of managing their ego now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we work through it and eventually we get to where we want to get to, because we're all guided by the laws and the principles, and we would show you why we are suggesting certain improvements or why we have certain findings to you.
And in terms of affordability, how affordable are DT associates?
Very affordable, Uncle Peter. It's a range of services.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. And how does engaging you start? How does engaging DT associates begin?
It starts with just, even if it's a call, an email. We are on www.dtassociatesgm.com. We are on 446-5800. And on our website, we are
446 is a land phone. Land phones are still working at DT
Yes, they're
Associates?
still working at
Goodness
DT
me.
Associates. We make use of them. And Uncle Peter, if I may just take the opportunity to let you know that as part of our 60th anniversary celebration, we are also rebranding. We are launching a new brand, and that is, we are also upgrading currently our website. We're going to change the brand. We're going to be different, doing things in a more advanced manner in line with the changes in the industry.
When is the launch?
It's the same day as the dinner.
Okay.
Yes.
And you don't want to discuss anything relating
It's
to
a secret, a great one.
Okay.
We want everybody to come and see it.
And it will be President Barrow to unveil the new identity.
Yes.
All right. Why is that important? Why do you need a new identity? Everybody knows you as DT Associates. They, appreciate, the quality of job done, and suddenly they have to go from DT Associates or, a familiar logo to something new.
Yeah, thank you very much, Uncle Peter. Just like I mentioned earlier, it's in line with growth and transformation. It would just signify how DT Associates have grown over the years, have changed in terms of names and managing partners. And it would also showcase how we intend to operate now and going forward.
And yeah, as I said, 60 years. I mean, the president is not 60 yet. The country is not 60 yet. Some of us are. Some of your, former partners who may still be alive, have you considered inviting them over to the celebration?
Yes, our own Mr. Alpha Barry.
Oh, he's a young man.
I think he's above 60 already.
No, he can't be.
And we are going to take the opportunity to also recognize our former and late partners who had really contributed significantly to the development of the farm. That's Mr. Cherno Jallo and Mr. Omar Ba of blessed memory. They've been part of us, and they had taken this farm to higher heights. We also would recognize all the Gambians that have worked there. Our alumni is really wide. I'm pleased to say I just found out last week that the Deputy Governor, Dr. Paul Mendy, is an alumni.
Governor too.
Yeah, Deputy Governor too is an alumni. The late Uncle Pacham of GPA, I believe even Abdullah Tambedu. So the current managing partner, Trust Bank, Njilan, managing director, Njilan Senghor, was also an employee of DT. So our footprints are all over the country and all over the world as well.
You talk about, coming this far, all right, with the launch of a new identity, logo, rebranding. Of course, a new journey begins. How far would you like to take DT Associates before maybe, you bow out?
DT Associates, the intention is to keep it going for hundreds of years. Wherever they mention any of the big fours, we want DT Associates Gambia to be also mentioned. We're looking at training more Gambians to take up the profession. We're looking at widening our services, taking advantage of the technology developments that are happening in the world. We're moving with the times. We don't want Gambia to be left behind.
And finally, After all these years, what are you most appreciative of?
We're most appreciative of the service of excellence and professionalism that we have been providing integrity, but we want to say thank you to our valued clients. Thank you to our valued employees. Without them, we wouldn't have reached here. And thank you to Gambians for having trust in us and the confidence that they have in DT Associates.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. They should be sending you here every morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. And that was DT Associates. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez.